Hello and welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly, an in-depth look at Cuesta College athletics. I'm Peter Schuler. On this month's show, we'll be joined by Cuesta volleyball players Hallie Robertson and Maren Cracknell. We will also welcome soccer players Christen Engel and Victoria Gracie. And just before we go, we will steal a few moments with Janni Johnson from the City to Sea Half Marathon. First up on Cuesta Sports Monthly, we are joined by sophomore soccer players Christen Engel and Victoria Gracie. Victoria, Christen, welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly. You guys are just your season's just begun. You're about 3 weeks in now. How do you guys feel about your sophomore season, the way it's coming together?
Well, thank you for having us. And it's been interesting. I'm pretty excited about this season. We have a lot of new freshmen, but I think it's all going to be good by the end of the season.
Now, coming back as sophomores, you have a pretty strong sophomore core, at least in the mid and backfield. How do you guys feel about where you've come from last year and where you're going this year as individually? How do you guys feel?
Individually, I think I've bonded with the team a lot more within the past year. Being a freshman, it's kind of all new, but as a sophomore, it's fun to come back and see familiar faces and just know how the program's run, so it's great.
Now, both of you two ladies are from out of the area. You're up in Forest Hill, a tiny little town up in the Sierra Nevadas, just kind of east of or west of Tahoe a little bit. So, what brought you to Cuesta College from way up there? What was the draw for you?
I think I was looking mostly for just a change of environment, and Cuesta College offered just a great environment with Cal Poly close, as well as the beach and the great surroundings and hiking. And I was just looking forward to being a part of a smaller school, more intimate.
So we still have the mountains, but it's still small, but not too big, right? Okay. How about you, coming from Tracy, down the 5 all the way down here? What was the transition like for you?
I just wanted to basically get out of Tracy, and I wanted to transfer to Cal Poly. So I knew that maybe coming to Cuesta, I'd be able to transfer easier and faster that way. And changing from the valley to near the beach is definitely an upgrade.
Now, as sophomores, and you have a new group coming in, of course, Cuesta College also has a lot of athletes from out of the area as well. Have you been helping mentor those people? Have you kind of shown them around San Luis, taking them to the farmer's market, that stuff? Oh my gosh, today is Wow Week, right?
Yeah.
How's that been going?
Well, we had a class the first 2 weeks before soccer even started or school even started, and I think Christen and I made sure that they were welcome. They knew that they could come to us for anything, because it is tough moving to a different town, especially, a lot of them didn't really know anyone. So it was interesting, and they always just came to us if they needed anything. And not only that, but we all connected pretty well as a team, outside the field and on the field.
Now, is that something you consciously did, become kind of the leadership? I know you guys have kind of captainships out there. Mm-hmm. Was that kind of a leadership role that you've just took on, or is that something that Coach Wilson kind of said, hey, you guys gonna bring him in a little bit?
Coming off of last year, I was one of the captains, third captain, and I was told right off the bat by Bob that I was to be leading the team this year, and I was super excited about that. I've just always been a leader, and Vicky has stepped up, and we're super stoked to be leading the team together. So.
Now, one of the things Coach Wilson said in the preseason was something about you having to take a role as kind of leading the midfield and kind of charge of that midfield, which is a big part of the team, transitioning from getting the ball out of the back up and up to the front to the forwards. How is that transition? How do you think you developed as your freshman year and taken on that role this year on the field as well as leadership off?
I think I kind of had to work on. I know it is a team sport, but I kind of had to work on myself first, get that confidence within myself to portray that confidence to the rest of the team, because it is very important out there that we're working together, that they know that if they have any questions that I'm right there for them. A lot of the girls that are playing in the midfield right now haven't played midfield before, but we need them there. We need their ball control. So during the game they're like, Vic, where do I go? What do I do? So it's a cool feeling to know that I can be there and I can help them, because it's definitely rewarding.
So what you've done is you gained their trust as a leader off the field.
Yes.
And that's really transitioned onto the field a lot. All right, that's great. Now, what drew you guys to soccer? I know you guys are kind of multi-sport athletes, really good athletes, but what was the thing about soccer that got you?
Here at Cuesta?
It got you into the sport.
I think with soccer, it kind of brings an environment of people that want to work hard and persevere together, and it brings a whole, not just an individual climate to the sport, but a team, and knowing that if you fail, the person behind you has your back, and if you need someone, they're always there for you. And I think it kind of translates in life, where we go through life and we have the people that help us as we go. And it really reflects on just that relationship, I think.
Yeah, soccer's interesting, especially with midfield and defense, where you guys don't really have a statistic to go by, but you can see when you watch the game what's going on, and it's kind of something you have to see to understand, how effective you guys are back there. Is that so? I can see what you're saying with that. Now, you just had in the very first game of the year a unique opportunity where you scored your first collegiate goal. You want to talk about that a little bit? And how you got brought up to the front to do that?
It was actually pretty fun to be pulled up by Bob and hey, Christen, can you take a PK for us? And it's not something that always happens. As a center back, you're mostly in the back watching play happen in front of you. But kind of just keeping it chill, and he said ball placement is important, and I just kind of went up there and took the shot, and it was super exciting to score a team goal, so it's good.
And that was important. I think that was the game winner, or at least tied the game. It was right. It was a very important goal to have. So now you think you're gonna kind of get it in your blood a little bit, or are you happy being back on defense?
I love defense, and I'd prefer to stay back there because then I can run forward as I go. But Bob said that there's more PKs in my future if that happens.
Now, when you were in high school at Tracy, you were the MVP of the team. Were you also a midfielder there, or were you moved up to the forward?
So I played midfield my whole life.
Okay,
Just that position to me, I connect with it well. I like seeing, I'm not much of a scorer, but I'm there to assist the ball and pass the ball and cross that ball in, which is what I've always liked to do. So it's interesting. Coach Bob always switches me around, but right there is where home is.
Because it really is. It's where the action's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, Christen's back there. You're the last line of defense before the goalie, and then you have control in both sides, both of the field. So that's I guess that's why you'd be the MVP if you were successful getting the ball out. And
right.
Okay, all right. Now, Christen, you also were a track athlete for us this year.
Yes.
One of the rarities as a first-team all-conference selection, both for soccer and this conference champion in the heptathlon, which is pretty much the best athlete, I guess officially, the best athlete is the cathlete or the heptathlete. How did that come about? You were a soccer player, or had you done the heptathlon, or they said, here's an athlete, let's make her do everything?
So I had never really had an off season before doing competitive soccer as I grew up. And so I was looking for another place to go, and Coach Loker came to me and was like, hey, want to try out track, and I had never even heard of any of the events. So being thrown into that world, I actually loved it, and I loved the coaching and the team, and I was really impressed with having that sport as well.
So did you have several different coaches? You had a multi-sport coach, but then you had the specifics.
Tara Kulikoff and my throwing coach, Zach, and it's fun to have everyone work together to try to get me to even learn the events, so that was kind of fun.
Now, you ended up basically an alternate for the state championships. I mean, the ninth place top 8 went. So that was a pretty impressive freshman year. Are you going to try and do that again? Is that kind of
for sure? Yeah, I'm hoping to head to state next year.
Okay. Now, with soccer, your dad's a coach, is that right?
Yeah.
Was he your soccer coach? Is that how?
Yeah, growing up, he was my soccer coach. So.
Okay. So was he one of those guys who was kind of got you? Was it just soccer, or did he get you into other sports? Or
I was mostly all for soccer. My older brothers played collegiately, so I kind of followed in their footsteps.
I just knew that it was Coach Carl, your dad, so I just wanted to follow up on that. Now, did you play other sports as well, or?
I did, yeah. Okay. So in high school, I played basketball. Basketball was always a passion of mine as well. But with my height, being 5 foot, I couldn't go any farther with it. But I wish I could. But
all right. And now, as sophomores, you guys both had great freshman years, academically, athletically. What are you guys kind of looking for as a transition? As Cuesta College, we always like to move our athletes on. I'm just looking where you guys are kind of looking. I know originally you said Poly, and I think you were looking somewhere close to the beach. You were San Diego, Long Beach, or Poly, kind of the things. That's where are you guys looking right now? Is that still the same, or?
I am definitely into Poly all the way. If that doesn't happen, I'll probably go to San Francisco State, move back home, and maybe try and play somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I'll be looking to head to Cal Poly, and if that doesn't work out, I have some opportunities opening up for me with scholarships to play at a different college, so it should be fun.
Okay. Now, what happens if you have a great track season? Would you consider that, or?
I'm not sure. It'd be fun. I'd love to do it.
But soccer's the core.
Soccer is probably the core.
And just as students coming from out of the area, is there any one thing you wanted to say about freshmen coming in to Cuesta College in San Luis Obispo?
I think it's just important to get involved because if you're getting involved, you meet people, whether it's in classes or really anything you can do outside of school. In school, I think it's just really important to get involved and not to be afraid.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christen.
Yeah, thanks.
That does it for soccer on Cuesta Sports Monthly. When we return, we'll meet with our spikers, Hallie Robertson and Maren Cracknell from volleyball. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be right back with more Cuesta Sports Monthly.
Cuesta.edu. Television, radio, broadcast, communication. Explore the world of digital communication and tap into your creative genius. Television, radio, broadcast, communication.
This is your boy, the DUI, and you're listening to KGUR.org.
Your digital future is at Cuesta College right now. Log on to Cuesta.edu now for enrollment dates and class information.
Don't get the boom in the shot.
Blown it, bro!
Cuesta.edu.
We're back on campus with Cuesta Sports Monthly. I'm Peter Schuler, and we are joined by volleyball stars Maren Cracknell and Hallie Robertson. Welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly, Hallie and Maren. You guys have started the season now. You are 5-4. Actually, the season started pretty well right away with a couple big wins. How are you feeling about the season so far, and what did you come in seeing as your sophomore years?
I think it looks really good this year. I think we're really strong this year. We came in, we're really athletic, we're really disciplined, we've bought into the system, and we just meshed well. We have 12 girls, so it was easy to mesh because there's a low number this year. But I'm feeling really good so far this season.
Now, you guys are both sophomores on this group, coming back from last year's team. Do you have a special role as leaders, or have you helped transition everybody in there? How has that gone this year? Have you had to take a different role as team leaders?
I definitely think we've taken a different role. We're just more comfortable. We know the drills. We know what's going to happen next. So I think people will just follow in our footsteps there. But definitely more of a leadership role this year, seeing that there's only 3 sophomores that returned and the rest are freshmen. So it definitely, the leadership is on the sophomores.
Now, you guys were middle blockers last year. You've moved to the outside. How is that, not only just a new team, but also now kind of taking new positions now? How has that affected you this year, and how do you feel about your new roles out there?
I love it. I like being able to stay in all the time and kind of mesh with everybody and you get to talk to everyone and cheer everyone on and, help people when they're down and stuff like that. And I like that you're more like a utility too. If the ball's off, people can put it to you because they know you're going to get it in and stuff like that. So I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
last year, Maren, you were an all-conference player, but you're also kind of the team's designated tall girl. As a middle blocker. Now we have a couple of people who are
Taller.
exceptionally over the 6-foot marker. How does that feel now? Now you're kind of a little kid, but also now still have a prominent role now as an outside hitter, or opposite.
Yeah, it's definitely different not being one of the tallest on the team, so I've had to get used to that. But I'm still pretty much play middle, but I'm dealing with opposite a little, and I really like it. It's good to be able to get off and play defense, and it's a different role for me that I'm still getting used to. Rather
than the quick hit, now you can just really wind up. Is that kind of you
like
that big wind up on the outside? Now, as the season's going on, what is kind of your team outlook as you're going? We're heading into conference a couple of weeks. Where do you think the team's really strong this year? I know on the outside and in the middle, but where you guys are.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the most positive? What are you really excited about this year? When you look at this team, if you were going to look at it and go, "This is great."
I think we're really mentally disciplined this year. Definitely. Like if we get down and we lose the first set or the first even 2 sets, we don't have a hard time like getting back up. Like we have a lot more mental discipline and it doesn't affect us negatively, at least.
Yeah, I think we're stronger this year. We're more athletic. I think we're faster. We hit harder. We put up a big block with all those tall girls. So I think it'll be a good year.
Yeah, we saw just in the first home game. The first game when you guys won pretty comfortably. The second game, the Cal Lutheran team served for a game, and you guys battled back and won that 26-24. And then the third game was also another barn burner, but you guys also came back and won that one. That's kind of what you're talking about, that mental discipline. You guys don't worry about the scoreboard as much as getting that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. What do you think? Is that part of just the team leadership, or is that just kind of the girls you have, or what do you think is contributing to that mental toughness this team has?
I don't know. I think
it's just our girls.
Yeah, I think we just have more positive energy out there on the court, so no one like gets down. Like we all are there bringing each other up, and it just helps us mentally. I think.
Yeah, no one just rolls over. We don't just give it to them. Like we fight. We're all really competitive, I think. So we're not just going to be like, oh, we lost this one. Like we always fight back for it.
Now, do you feel that in practice? Is it kind of have a little wars out there?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, and as sophomores, that's kind of like you guys have to keep the lid on it and make sure it stays.
Yeah, make sure we're still a team. Not too feisty with each other.
All right. What kind of things? Let's start with you, Maren. What was the thing that drew you to volleyball?
I don't really know. I think I was just a tall kid, so my mom put me in it, and I just loved it ever since.
Yeah.
Now, how about you, Hallie?
I didn't really play any sports like in middle school and didn't have any sports, and my mom played volleyball. Really wanted me to try out, and I really didn't want to. And she said if I tried out, I could start wearing mascara to school. So 7th grade me tried out for volleyball and actually didn't think I made the team. I was walking out of the gym and the coach like yelled, "Robertson, get back here." Made the team and ended up loving it, and so I've played ever since.
Now, did you overdo it? Were you like a raccoon? I mean, how thick was the mascara?
I look back at it and I'm like, wow, what was I doing? Way too much.
Oh, mom took the chance on that one, right?
You gotta learn somehow.
But you weren't just a volleyball player. You actually spent your first year and a half at the University of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because Oklahoma one doesn't always think of major bodies of water, but you also did crew there.
Yeah.
So what was that transition from high school in Folsom out to Oklahoma, then back to San Luis Obispo, going from Folsom to rowing in the middle of the country to coming back and playing volleyball on the beach?
Yeah, it was really weird. I went there not planning to do any sports, but I missed the team, having a group of girls that I could bond with and stuff. And I was actually walking on campus, and a girl recruited me to come to tryouts, and I tried out, ended up loving it. And so I did that for a year, and it was different. It was weird. They have seasons out there. I'm not used to that. It's like 30 degrees all the time in the winter. So it was different. A lot of early mornings, a lot of heavy lifting, and it's more of an individual thing. It's not the team aspect, and I didn't really enjoy not being like a team. Like it was all mental.
Because even though you were in the boat with several people,
it's just you. Yeah, it's you in your head, and you don't. I'm really outspoken, and I like to cheer people on, and you don't do that in rowing. So it was really different, but I missed volleyball. So missed volleyball, missed home.
And you were too big to be a coxswain.
Yeah. Those girls are like 100 pounds. I was like, oh, they're tiny little things. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So if at this point, if you moved on, but I mean, being a rowing crew at that level, you would think that some people were still looking at you, or will you only go volleyball next year?
I mean, I'm kind of up for anything, really. I'd do anything. I don't have any set plans yet, so I'll play volleyball. I would row. I'd prefer volleyball, but yeah.
Cuesta College is kind of known for our transfer rate for our athletes. I was just kind of wondering what you guys, as sophomores, it's still early. You don't have to have your applications in until sometime next month. But what are you guys looking forward to next year? Is it just going to be academics? Are you really want to play? Is that going to be your focus, or what's going on for next year, you think?
I'm really keeping my options open. I don't have any set plans yet. I would love to play if the opportunity presented itself, but I know I want to transfer. I don't know where yet, but if volleyball was in the picture, I would definitely take it. So depends on there. Just keeping those options open for now.
What about you, Hallie?
I'm the same way pretty much. I'm a pre-nursing major though, so
It limits your.
it limits it a little bit.
The time is going to be
Yeah,
tough, too.
exactly. But I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, I would definitely be open to playing.
All right. Thank you very much, Maren Cracknell and Hallie Robertson from Cuesta Women's Volleyball. And that does it for this segment of Cuesta Sports Monthly. Coming up next, we'll talk with Coach AndJanni Johnson about the City to Sea Half Marathon.
Cuesta.edu. Television, radio, broadcast, communication. Explore the world of digital communication and tap into your creative genius. Television, radio, broadcast, communication.
This is your boy, the DUI, and you're listening to KGUR.org.
Your digital future is at Cuesta College right now. Log on to Cuesta.edu now for enrollment dates and class information.
Don't put the boom in the show.
Blown it, bro.
Cuesta.edu.
We're back with Janni Johnson and the City to Sea here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. Janni Johnson is the co-director of this year's City to Sea Half Marathon, and we get an opportunity to welcome her back. Janni is the former division chair of Cuesta's kinesiology department and former cross-country and track coach for the Cougars. So, Janni, welcome back to Cuesta Sports Monthly.
Thank you.
First question, most importantly, how is retirement? I know you're still teaching a couple classes, but how are things going?
It's wonderful. I am still involved with Cuesta, obviously with this race and also with classes and working out in the community at a couple of the fitness clubs. So I'm really enjoying it and enjoying more time at home too. It's great. Thank you.
Definitely active.
Yes.
Now, your daughter just had a child. And
she's due to have a child around Thanksgiving.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that should
first
be
grandchild. Pretty exciting.
Great holiday surprise there.
Yeah. The best.
Okay. Are they living in the
They live in Austin, Texas.
Okay, so they're a little bit farther away.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
But it's only a plane ride away.
Well, that sounds like you have a lot of holiday plans down in Texas coming
Yes,
up. So that'll be
yes,
great.
we
That'll be
do.
great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, you're back on campus here. You're still
Yeah.
teaching a couple classes, but you're still very much involved with the City to Sea Marathon, which you used to be the only director. Now you are the co-director with Coach Brian Loker.
Yep.
So how is the City to Sea Half Marathon coming along? I know it's coming up October 9th?
Yes,
9th
correct.
is coming up.
It's going along really well. Our registration is really ramping up right now in both the 5K and the half marathon. And we are all set with our sponsors. We're starting to gather our volunteers together. And it's quite a department collaboration. So Michelle Clark, who is in charge of the volunteers, is really starting to ramp up, getting the new students in and the new athletes in to help with this race.
Right, it's really become kind of a department-wide thing.
Yeah.
I know women's water polo has a section with the registration, and everybody else has a little thing to do.
Yep.
Which is really kind of great. It's really a neat thing. I think a lot of the student athletes really enjoy being part of that process and seeing this race come together.
Yeah.
As of size-wise, are we continuing to grow, or is it staying the same this year? Or how are we looking, or is it too early to tell?
It might be a week or two early to tell, but I think we are going to sell out. We're 3 weeks out right now, and we're getting real close, maybe a couple of 300 from selling out in the half marathon, and about the same in the 5K. So our goal right now is just to keep driving registration, and of course we always get late registration day of. And so
Somebody
we're
who all of a sudden just wakes up
yeah.
that morning and says, I feel like running 13 and a half miles. Is
Yeah.
that the person we're looking for?
It's hard to believe, but that does happen. Yeah.
So okay, that's great. So it's kind of become a tradition, not only just through Cuesta Athletics, but also I think the community really embraces that, and you have a lot of local sponsors and some international sponsors in the past.
Yeah.
How are the sponsorships coming along, and who are some of the people you guys are really excited about?
Running Warehouse is our title sponsor, and they are always a huge support for us. That's where we do packet pickup on Saturday.
They always have to host that big party, the pre-race party there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great. And then Dr. Chris Byrne, who's a local podiatrist who also helps our Quest athletes. He's on board.
Me a few weeks ago. I had a bad
yeah. See, he's on board to be one of our sponsors.
Thank you, Dr. Chris Byrne.
As well as Creekside Physical Therapy, who also help our student athletes, and Affinity Chiropractic, who's another helper. So it's really great. We have a great medical field on board. Also, the Central Coast nurse practitioners are going to do some post-race type of massage and evaluation, helping with people after the race. So that's really great. And we have a great group of support. You mentioned the student athletes and the coaches that are part of Quest Athletics. And we also are bringing on board this year Wallace Group, who has been involved on and off throughout the years, and they're back on board again. And one of the really great things that I've been trying to help with this year is really driving group registration. So Kennedy Club Fitness is one of our sponsors this year. They are also going to have a big team running. So is Wallace Group, Team World Vision, and let's see, who else is on board there with that? Oh, PG&E, who's a supporter of Quest Athletics. And so we're getting these groups.
So with those teams, I mean, I know we have individual awards, but is there a team? I mean, what do we consider about when you were a cross-country coach? Do they have a scoring team?
Not yet.
Have you considered maybe?
We have.
Okay.
That's a good question. And I think we may do that in the future, is having like a team score, almost like cross-country, where your top 7 athletes score. So yeah, we've considered that. And there's large groups, 30, 40, 50 people on some of these company teams.
So maybe more than 7.
Yeah, it might be. Maybe top 10. Yeah.
That'd be great. I think it says something about the community of San Luis Obispo, where even people who work together say, I'm going to spend my Sunday going out and sweating and running up the coast with you, or down the coast, as the case may be. So
it's part of that team camaraderie, and that's one of the things that we really try to promote is, wellness in the workplace, and getting teams to do some of these fun things, because afterwards, we have music. This year we're going to have a beer garden. We have a full-on breakfast. It's a really nice atmosphere.
Nice big party down at the Dinosaur Caves in the park right there.
Yeah,
it's always a fun event. It's
really fun.
Really is neat. But it is a huge event, and I'm just kind of curious of what you think of some of the challenges you've had in the past and how you've overcome them, and if there's some things you're still working on. I know it's tough, but I want to see. What's the challenges you guys are facing?
The challenges that I think we face are we changed the course last year. We had a little bit of a problem with the out and back on Monty Road, and so last year was our first year of taking it back on the Bob Jones Trail for the last third of the half marathon. And we got really good feedback from the participants last year. And so that was something that we solved, and now we're going to work to enhance that last few miles. I think always just safety is a huge issue, and we work a lot with the county and the city to make sure that the race is safe, because it's not a closed course, so we do have drivers on the road, so that's always something that we are really adamant about, is making sure that we have plenty of volunteers and having the student athletes understand that that's a big piece of their responsibility, is make sure that that the runners are safe. Adequate hydration. As our race was growing really quickly, we had a year where we ran out of water. It was a really hot year, and we were running around going to grocery stores and liquor stores trying to get extra jugs of water. And so we've got all those things down now.
It's always a big event, and it's always things. And it's nice to see you have it. And you always have to make improvements, and you use the feedback from from the runners,
You
and you make
bet.
those improvements. Is there any one? I mean, the big turnaround, is that the big improvement for the year? Or just
I think so. I think the new course that we started last year, we do have some traffic issues at Shell Beach and Avila Beach Road and in that area because it's popular in the
one-way,
fall.
one-out, yeah.
Yep. And so the CHP is a huge help there, and we have a lot of police support, and that's something that has really helped our race to improve for sure.
One last question.
Yeah.
What makes the City to Sea Marathon the best race in the Central Coast?
Oh, that's an easy one. Well, first of all, the proceeds benefit Cuesta Track and Field and Cross Country and now Cuesta Athletics. So we're helping to improve the facilities. And so it's a win-win in the sense that our student athletes really benefit from this race. It's also something that the community can count on every year. That's like the hometown race. That is something that we love to bring back year after year and make it great. And just also where it ends, it's Dinosaur Caves is one of the most beautiful backdrops for this race to finish. And the last, it goes through beautiful countryside and then finishes right on the ocean. So I think it's an amazing race. And, we're really proud of going from San Luis Obispo all the way to Pismo Beach. So.
All right. And registration is still available online.
Yes.
And packet pickup day is October 8th at the Running Warehouse off Suburban Road. And you can still sign up if you need to on that day, I think, right?
Yes, you can.
Right. So
and race day.
The City to Sea Half Marathon coming up October 9th this year. And that does it for Cuesta Sports Monthly. That concludes our edition. And remember to stay up to date with your Cougars, visit the Cuesta Athletic website, and for information on all our athletic teams. We'd like to thank our guests today, Hallie Robertson, Maren Cracknell, Christen Engel, Victoria Gracie, and Janni Johnson. This show is produced at Cuesta College by Cuesta Broadcast Communications Department as part of the Cuesta TV project. Check out Channel 2 all year long for the show as well as this show, as well as other ongoing broadcasts of Cuesta Athletics. I'm Peter Schuler. For all of us here at Cuesta, thank you for watching and thank you for your support.